We have a lot of questions that still need to be answered moving forward, but we cannot look past the task at hand. We are in the playoffs in the first round against Calgary, who of course we just beat out for that second place spot and home ice advantage in this opening series. We'll take a quick look at the lineups, although they have remained the same. Of course, it's been the same way all season, and it's gotten us up to this point, although I will not be afraid to change things up if need be, especially with Cole Castles up to an 88 overall. But I look forward to seeing what this team can do. If it wants to let me switch over to defense, that'll be good. Things are looking real good defensively with Chychrun up to an 86 overall. So the top four is looking good. Really, our defense is looking better than it ever has. There is that one missing piece that I refuse to get over, but maybe we'll get them in the near future. Of course, the big question is Thatcher Demko. The good news, he's rebounded to at least an 84. He's no longer an 82. He's rebounded to at least an 84. If he stays here, we can trade him. That is a very tradable contract. But if he rebounds perfectly, obviously, we're keeping him. We had good progression this season. Players are rebounding, mainly Thatcher Demko. Of course, I'll give you a quick look at what we did this season. Of course, we'll look at Calgary before getting into Game 1. Steven Stamkos with 72 points. Jerome with 61. We drop off a little bit from there, and I'll have you guys take a look. Jimmy Vesey, a little bit disappointing to finish under 40 points. But this team is primed and ready for a cup run. Obviously, the big disappointment last season, missing out on the third round, or a repeat to the Western Conference Finals after losing to the Ducks. But maybe this year will be different. My one regret, if we win the cup, yes, of course, we did forget to trade for Daniel Sedin. Easy to forget, guys. You got to remember, recording a whole season, that was at least an hour and a half in terms of a raw footage file. The last episode finished at, 20 minutes? Something like that. So we did have to edit quite a bit. But looking at the Flames, obviously Johnny Gaudreau is a big point. But centers, Monahan with 63 points, Bo Bennett, Mark Jankowski, and Brett Pollock. Tyler Soy and Backlund also got some playing time. Left wings, they have Gaudreau, Shinkaruk, who I was definitely tempted to reacquire, but I decided to keep it a little bit realistic in terms of keeping him on Calgary. Joe Colborne, an 84 overall, but only 21 points. Michael Ferland got 44 games in there. They signed Gustav Nyquist, who of course was in free agency not too long ago. They have a pretty damn good team. There is no denying that. They have a pretty damn good team, a pretty strong defense, although Mark Giordano is down to an 81 overall. So they're definitely well-rounded defensively with Oliver Kylington and Patrick Seeloff. The goaltender is the big question. It is Mason McDonald, who is currently, actually no, John Gillies is their starter. So 285 overall goalies, about the same range as Thatcher Demko. I think it's a pretty strong matchup, and I'm going to be interested to see how it goes down. Although, one more thing I do want to see. I don't like to spoil who wins the Hart, but let's take a look at who led the league in points. Is that even the Hart Trophy? I'm tired as hell, first of all. So if I just got that trophy name wrong, I'm going to be pissed. Patrice Bergeron led the league in points. That is amazing. But the first time in a while that Stamkos has not been top 5 for us. Enough time wasting. Let's get into this series. It is Game 1 against the Calgary Flames at home in Vancouver. Can the Canucks get off to a good start to this new postseason? First period, it is scoreless. We outshoot them 11-3. Second period, and Jesus, Michael Frolik and Michael Ferland with 2 goals. Frolik scoring from the Rask spot, and that really shifted. That really shifted. What they outshoot us? 12-4 that period? 12-5? That was not a good second period performance for the Canucks. Drake Caggiula, though, gets us back into it. John Gillies is in goal. That's interesting to know that they went with him over McDonald. Halfway through the period, can we tie it? And Michael Ferland says, no, we can't, unless we pull off a miracle at this point. Hunter Shinkaruk gets it. I'm just simming the period. Fuck it. Stetcher gets us a goal, but we lose Game 1, 4-2. 2 goals for Michael Ferland. Not exactly who I expected to get lit up by, but a very good, very great game, great performance for him. But that was a rough start. We won't waste any time though. Second game, we need to win this one. We cannot afford to go to Calgary down 2-0 and not take advantage of our home ice advantage. First period of game 2, and Mark Jankowski gets the goal again from out wide. They have to be getting just tons of traffic in front of the net. Second period, can we rebound? We can't, but it's still just a 1-goal lead heading into the third period. Come on, boys. Stamkos, Drouin, that top line in general has been silent. We're still getting outshot, and Gustav Nyquist with the goal puts us down by 2 with 10 minutes to go. We're on the power play, and that doesn't matter. Calgary on the power play. It's an extended power play, for Christ's sake. Don't get shut out. Don't get shut out. Sean Monahan with the empty netter. John Gillies shuts out the Vancouver Canucks in game 2, and this is an absolute nightmare scenario. Thatcher Demko has a solid game with 27 saves, but this is just not good. Jared McCann goes down for a month with a bruised arm. How big is the fucking bruise? So moving forward, these are the lines we are going with. We are going to keep the top line together despite the fact that they have been dead silent. The second line is now Vesey, Kajula, and Lindholm after the injury to Jared McCann. Horvat, Castles, Virtanen on the third line. Sarela, Siru, or Kiru. I think it's Kiru because of the K. Not very good with my French. But Kiru on the fourth line with Vitaly Abramov, who was getting the call up. I was tempted to put in Henrik Sedin, but we will go with Abramov, and hopefully he can provide a little bit of an offensive spark, because otherwise that fourth line is pretty defensive for the most part. But we are in a bad way, being outscored 7-2 through the first 2 games, and we need a bounce back as the series shifts to Calgary for game 3. This is a must win. If we fall down 3-0, we are fucked, and that would be very, very disheartening, because I feel like the team we have is very well-rounded, very well put together, but if they don't perform, it's just another sad note in our GM mode history. But first period, we're going to stay positive. First period, can we turn it around? And we do. Stamkos and Lindholm, first and second line, getting it done, both from nearly identical spots. Second period, we add to it. Vitaly Abramov gets the goal. Gigantic. Really, thank you for the reassurance that I called up the right guy, because we did have some decent options and things are looking good here. Jimmy Vesey with the goal, and the Canucks are not ready to lay down and die yet, boys. We have a series on our hands at this point. Now, granted, things were looking a bit rough against Anaheim, and we still lost, but who knows? Mark Jankowski ruins the shutout. That's not important. 29 of 30 for Thatcher Demko is more than what we could have asked for, but we get 4 goals. The offense finally wakes up. I'm not saying Jared McCann was the issue, but that second line, Lindholm, Jesus, easy for me to say, Lindholm and Jimmy Vesey, both with 2 points apiece. That new second line performing very well, and we will quickly move on to Game 4. The AHL regular season comes to an end. Of course, they did not make the playoffs this year, so a little bit disappointing for the Utica Comets. But Game 4, all of our attention, our undivided attention on the main team, the Vancouver Canucks. First period of Game 4, and that is not what we were looking for. Johnny Gaudreau starts off the scoring. Brett Pollock gets a goal. VC adds another one a minute and 9 seconds later. But then, fucking hell, just 15 seconds later, Brett Pollock adds another one. I think it was Brett. Pollock adds another one, and we are down 3-1 at the end of the first period. Second period, we get one back, though. Austin Matthews making it happen, and that sets up a very interesting third period. We need a big performance from our big players. Let's do this. Still a goal behind, an early penalty kill, and Jordan Carew with the goal, but Luke Glendening gets one stamp. What the fuck is going on? Carew gets a goal. Glendening gets a goal. Stamkos scores. We're on the power play. We can't get that back. But this has turned into a fucking barn burner in Calgary. 4-4 in the final stretch of the third period in Game 4. And we are going to overtime for the first time in this series. What a third period. But the fourth line contributes again. And the top line contributes. Stamkos finally getting his game going. That sets up this overtime. We are being outshot 34-23. That's concerning, but I trust Thatcher Demko more than I trust John Gillies, and I am going to regret saying that within the next 10 seconds. Overtime. Let's go. Come on, boys. It's either 3-1 down or a 2-2 draw in this series heading back to Vancouver for Game 5. We're still hemorrhaging shots. Can we get the goal, though? All it takes is one shot. And Emile Poirier gets the goal. They outshoot us 43-28. It is a 5-4 victory for Calgary in Game 4. And we are one game away from being knocked out in the first round, which would be, my God. You know, people have joked about some of these results. I wish I scripted this shit. I did. I want nothing more in life right now. Fuck a Ferrari, fuck immortality. I want nothing more right now than to just restart this series, because this sucks. This absolutely sucks. Our backs are against the wall, so that is going to require some changes, and changes have indeed been made. The new third line, Vitaly Abramov, Jake Virtanen, and Jordan Carew will hopefully provide a little bit more offense, as Horvat and Castles, both now on the fourth line, haven't done really a damn thing for us. 1 point between the two of them. They will now be on our fourth line, shutdown line, with Alexi Sarela. And defensively, Tryamkin and Stetcher just weren't getting it done. Chychrun and Parayko, the new top pairing. Tryamkin's with Renat Valiev. Stetcher down on the third pairing with Frankie Corrado. But Tryamkin and Stetcher have not had a good series whatsoever. So we look to the new lines to hopefully bring it together. And the good news is, the good news is, I was going to say boys, I was going to say guys, to my viewers, the good news is Thatcher Demko has somehow rebounded to an 85 overall and is neutral in terms of his morale. It is a fucking miracle, especially after losing Brad Marchand the way we did in the Bruins GM Mode Series. Unfortunately for us, he only has a .907 save percentage. That is not good at all. And I am so tempted to go, not with McBride or with McEachern, but I am so tempted to go with Ty Edmonds, who honestly had a pretty good regular season for the most part, and then really dipped off towards the end. As you can see, finished with an 800 save, or a save percentage in the 800s. So it's, I'm stalling. Let's be honest. I'm stalling here because I'm afraid of what's going to happen. But we must move forward. We must have hope. Game 5 in Vancouver on home ice. New lineups. Let's do this one game at a time. First period, a goal apiece, Lindholm, and a minute and 1 second later, Sam Bennett with the goal. Second period, come on boys, and it's Michael Furland again. Fucking hell. Just, man, what is he on? Just what is he on? Third period, and this is it. This is it. We need 2 goals at least to stay alive. We get on the power play. They get on the power play. Come on now. Come on now. 10 minutes left. Don't do this to me, EA. Not with this team. This team has too much promise. Please, a late goal. I am fucking begging you. And we are out in the first round in 5 games to the Calgary Flames. I fucking hate this game. I don't get it. I don't get what went wrong, where it went wrong, how it went wrong. I just do not understand how this team managed to fail and get kicked out in the fucking first round against the Flames. I don't get it. I get it. We were close with them. It was a very close race. Very clearly, there were 3 teams at the top of the division, and rightfully so. And I get it, too. They finished with 2 more wins than us on the season. But I just don't get it. We were essentially even in goals per game. We had a lower goals against average for the season. I just cannot comprehend how this team's been eliminated in the first round. This team, it's undeniable. This team is better than the team that made it to the Western Conference Finals. Yes, Abramov is in rather than Jared McCann, but I felt like he played relatively well. I mean, he scored on the only shot he took, so I don't know. Maybe he didn't, but my God. As we always do, or at least now as of late, as we always do, we will sim to the end of the playoffs and see who was able to win the cup. And of course, in the next episode, we will take a look at or we'll move forward into the off season with the draft. We do have quite a few picks after cycling out as many players as we did. Jared McCann's back from injury, which is just lovely. Who cares? This is brutal. This is the worst part. Just sitting here knowing you have to sim through just to see who won the cup. But my God, I don't know, guys. Tell me where we went wrong, aside from the fact that, we weren't able to get our hands on a top-tier defenseman. But where did we go wrong? Because I thought Chychrun made great strides getting up to an 86. Yes, we don't have that one elite defender 90 and up, but there you have it. The St. Louis Blues are the Stanley Cup champions. So congratulations to them. We will take a look at the playoff tree and the awards as we wrap up this episode. But looking at it, St. Louis beats Montreal in 7 games. Montreal that close to a repeat. Not too bad for them. Calgary loses in the conference finals. And even if we won, Anaheim swept LA. LA, who, was the best team in the Western Conference. We would have had another matchup with Anaheim, so that's pretty disappointing. And of course, the Bridgeport Sound Tigers win the Calder Cup, and that just makes it hurt that much more. Just that much more, because we are now, 3 seasons? It was 17-18 when we made it to the Western Conference Finals. 2 playoff disappointments in a row, and I'm starting to get concerned that maybe the core that we've put together they don't have it. The Art Ross goes to Patrice Bergeron. Jesus, I can't believe I called it the Hart. The Hart, of course, is the MVP. And that goes to Drew Doughty. Stamkos, of course, won the Art Ross and the Hart last year. Doughty also wins the Norris because, of course, he does. How great would it have been to get our hands on fucking Drew Doughty? Patrick Kane wins the Lady Byng. Connor Garland is the Calder winner. Tarasenko the Conn Smythe. Tuukka Rask the Vezina. The Jennings goes to Carey Price. Brady Shea wins the Masterton. Bergeron wins his award. Doughty elected as he's the fucking Ted Lindsay winner, and we could have had him. And the Rocket Richard goes to Tarasenko. In the AHL, did we get any hardware is the question, and I don't think we did. Eddie Lack wins goalie of the year. I'm so sorry, Eddie. Oh, I'm so sorry that's where you are. Nikolai Ehlers is a Bruin, apparently. I don't even know, guys. I don't even know, but what can I say? What can I say at this point? I do thank you guys very much for watching. Of course, as always, if you've enjoyed, make sure to hit that like button. Helps out the channel, and of course, I appreciate it. And that's not just me saying it, because to put myself through this, I really do appreciate the feedback and the support. And of course, subscribe to see what happens next, because who the hell knows? Who the hell knows what happens in this next off season? I might just lose my goddamn mind. But in order for that to happen, we're going to have to wait for the next episode. So I will see you guys then. Thank you so much for watching. Have a nice day, because mine is ruined because we got kicked out in fucking 5 games.